I'm here to play. I'm here to win.
Backstab, sabotage, I'll do it.
Hello, mole. Whoever you are.
God, I love this game.
You know, Alan's show, The Traders, is very different from mine. People who don't know, Alan and I have been very close friends for a long time. He's like a big brother to me. We have a cabaret show that we tour around the country together called Och and Oi, where we sing songs and crack jokes and tell stories. So Alan and I are very, very close. And when I got the job hosting The Mole, his advice included wear lots of kilts and tartan, get a castle, say the word murder as often as you can. And so I thanked him for his generous advice, and then I went in my own direction. It still feels so surreal to me. It's easy to answer the why did I want to take it on question. I've always loved this show. It feels like this wild adventure where every episode is in a different location, you're solving puzzles, you're trying to figure out who you can trust. The show never feels like it's unnecessarily cruel to the players. So being involved with The Mole has always been a dream for me. And the way I became the host is that I had a book come out last year called The Best Strangers in the World, and I was on a podcast called Las Culturistas with Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang, and we were talking about reality TV, and Matt said, "You'd make a great host of a show like The Mole." And I said, "Do not joke about that. I would absolutely love, in a heartbeat, I would totally host a show like The Mole." And then I had a call a few weeks later with my agents where I mentioned that, and they said, "Well, actually, Netflix is looking for a new host for The Mole." And I said, "Shut up." The next thing I knew, I had a call with Netflix, and a few weeks after that, I was literally on a plane to Malaysia. And then I had to sit on this secret for a year, so I'm so relieved that I can finally talk about it with you. Well, first, I think as the host of All Things Considered on NPR, I'm very used to explaining things. And so that aspect of the job came very naturally to me. Like, here's what you need to know, here's what makes this place unique, here's what's gonna happen today. But I also think that as a journalist who interviews people every single day, I'm constantly asking myself, is this person lying to me? Can I trust them? And so The Mole is a game where that question, who can you trust and who's lying to you, is really at the heart of the gameplay. And so I think I brought a lot of experience to that. And it was fun that I didn't know who the mole was as we were filming. So I was kind of behind the scenes playing along with the contestants, trying to figure out who was lying and assess their gameplay for myself. One of the things that I really love about this season is the range of people who were cast in the 12 players. I think people will notice as soon as they start watching the show that everyone is there for a specific reason. You know, some people are really good at solving puzzles or telling when people are lying or good at physical challenges. But beyond the fact that everyone is there for a reason, the 12 players are very, very different from each other. And so that makes for a really interesting dynamic, especially when they have to work together as a group, because the heart of this game is the tension between cooperation and individualism, because you only add money to the pot when you're working together as a team, but only one person is going to win the game in the end. And so watching that push-pull and how each contestant plays it differently is really interesting. I also think this year the missions are just kind of next level epic. Like, there were things that I saw in the descriptions of the episodes before we arrived to film them that made my jaw drop. And I haven't seen the finished episodes yet, but I'm sure the footage is stunning. Like, I got a couple glimpses of a couple of the drone shots, and it just feels like a popcorn movie with every episode being a different film. The great thing about Malaysia, which I think The Mole does really well, is that it has glittering skyscrapers and historic small towns and caves and jungles and tropical islands. So for a show like The Mole that is trying to do really big things in really exciting places, you can create these scenarios that feel like you're filming some kind of like David Attenborough nature documentary, except in the middle of it, you have these people who are trying to complete missions and solve puzzles.